Good day. Today's Sunday, October 14th, 2018. I'm going to make this video available just on the one channel, one website. I've been asked to delete some of my videos on a competitor. They didn't specify as to which, but seems like the Thought Patrol, the Thought Police, have flagged me for using copyrighted material. Now, since I haven't been viewed very much, probably less than just about anybody, some cases only one digit, 5, 9 viewings, in other cases up to 3 digits, but that's all very small compared to most of the videos that are being posted on the website. So it to me brings up a red flag as far as why I've been notified to take stuff down. Of course, those that are in on this are aware of this. It's kind of the censorship that's being employed on certain people to keep their information off the internet, which is the only independent source of information on what's really going on. But with this advent of the excuse that, well, you can't post this, you can't post that because you're infringing on somebody's copyrights, this is way overblown, and I think it's being used as an excuse to keep information, keep the public from having access to certain information. And I haven't heard anyone really get to what I'm about to say, and that is that what I think is occurring is that there's a convergence of elite or people in control, say the newspapers and TV, on one point, and the convergence of artificial intelligence, this is computer programs, on the other side, and these are converging to a point where we're having something occur that's really not occurred to this extent before. And as artificial intelligence can gain even more in the future, things may get worse. And you see, you really can't blame anybody because, well, it's artificial intelligence. It's kind of like a program I saw on why airplanes crash on TV. They were the two engines on the jet transport was malfunctioning, and they were basically breaking down and coming apart. And so the pilot backed off on the power to prevent further breakdown of the engine, and unbeknownst to him, the manufacturer of the aircraft engine had put an automatic system in there that increased the speed of the engine when a pilot decreased it too much during takeoff, because too many pilots were backing off on the throttle too much. And with a jet engine, you can have problems between the front of the engine and the back, the fans. And anyway, this automatic system had put in, and it sped the engines up right when they were starting to come apart because of ice being taken in off the wings during takeoff. So you see, the whole fault of the aircraft had been that this automatic system had been put into the engines, and the aircraft company hadn't told their pilots, or there was some breakdown in the communication line, that this automatic thing had been put in. So when the pilot slowed the engine down, he didn't realize that it was automatically being sped back up as soon as he tried to slow it down. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, is you've got this automatic system that's starting to take over more and more, and most of us call that artificial intelligence, AI. And it's censoring more and more because certain people have given more and more power to these computer programs, because it makes society all more efficient, supposedly. And so you've got, here I'm going to give you another little example. So you got two drug gangs in a city, and you have a third party that comes in there and says, this is the fault of that drug gang, and this drug gang thinks it's the fault of the other drug gang, and so the two drug gangs start having a big fight. And it's just third party that's playing one to the other. Now you see that again in play with the Democrats and the Republicans playing each other. And really it's a third party, or in this case, a computer program, a corporation that is kind of a non-entity, but because of the judicial system in this country and giving the corporations equal status to persons, you've got this soulless corporation that's running more and more artificially through the artificial intelligence that's been given to it. You have the same thing with the market, the so-called free market, Wall Street market system. There's so many buying and selling programs that are automatic, and these operate faster, a split second faster than any human can. And in a sense, they are starting to run the market system. And people, including myself, have been blaming the elite, or not that they're not totally exempt from this, but blaming them for controlling the markets, when it's actually a convergence of these artificial intelligent programs running things. Anyway, what I want to say is that it's not all bad. These artificial intelligence programs, not being prejudiced, may be picking out the biggest threats to the system, which in a sense could be somebody like me or somebody else that's not really being heard, therefore not a threat, but because of what we are saying, that is the threat. And these artificial programs are picking up on this and trying to delete our material, or red flagging us as a threat to the system. I don't know how many of you are going to understand that. Maybe I'll give you an example. I've been talking a lot about a website that's run by Justice of the Peace, Anna von Reitz, and regarding her saying that we could all set up pre-14th Amendment citizen constitutions in our counties and in our cities and in our villages and even in our states. And people I've talked to that are aware of her say, oh, well, that'll never happen because it's too complicated. And maybe they're right. Maybe that's why it hasn't caught on. People are so lazy today that they don't want to set up their own court systems. They don't want to set up their own government the way that it was set up because it's too much work and they're too faithful in the corporate, private governments that are contracted today. And we call those the incorporated governments and police forces. And so she is no threat in what she's saying because basically it's too difficult for the people to ever do. So maybe my speaking of this city of 20,000 people, inhabitants in southern Mexico, throwing out their police and their government and basically doing what Anna von Reitz is talking about by just simply getting rid of their police and governments, because a strange thing happened when they did this. It seems like the criminals disappeared too. Maybe they just figured it'd be better to move out of town and go down, set up shop in the next city over. But you see, you have those three ties of police, government, and criminals. Gee whiz, there must be some connection here. And the fine people in Cheran-Mexico have become a bigger threat to the people in the United States of America. North of them, they've become a bigger threat because maybe what they've done is far simpler than just what Anna's been talking about. Or, like she says, she's not against the corporate governments. She's just saying that people who want to be free should set up their own, basically a competitor to the corporate system. And but this is still more complicated. The people in Cheran just threw out the police. You know, they weren't anti-police, they just didn't want them any longer, so they discontinued the pay to the government employees, and they kind of disappeared along with the criminals. So I don't know if I'm making any point here. I've certainly tried to be on the cutting edge and telling you something that's the bigger picture is even now just fully getting to the point where I grasp it, and hopefully more and more of you. And I'm not copywriting this idea. I don't think the truth can be copyrighted or should be, but of course it is being copyrighted by the elite who are still in control and don't want to give up control. They're using this excuse of copyright issues as an excuse to keep the truth from being told. It's like somebody's out there trying to give us the answers, and somebody else is saying, Oh, I'm helping you people. I'm protecting you people. I'm not allowing this stuff that's not appropriate to the system to be told. And I'm saying it's copyright issue. So I'm protecting the copyright of these people by not allowing it to be repeated on something that competes with TV and mass media. Now, another thing that may have caused all this to come down on me was that I had posted a video, or I mentioned it to one of the large newspapers in Utah. And as some of you are aware, the NSA or one of those like agencies, CIA or somebody, has a large automatic facility in Salt Lake City, and a lot of their people are working there. And this is where a lot of the automatic intelligence is being run out of. So maybe they somehow caught abreast of what I was saying. I was basically saying that the biggest problem on the war on drugs is that these people that are fighting the war, supposedly to eradicate drugs and to eradicate, illegal drugs, and eradicate people that are producing and selling and pushing these drugs. I've been saying that they're perhaps the biggest promoter of the war on drugs, and they're in a sense creating a war on sanity. And I've gotten a lot of flack from saying this, because I'm going a little bit further than what some people, they're trying to expose the faults of the war on drugs, which I call the war for drugs. I'm extending it a little bit more and saying we should include that legal drugs, not just illegal drugs, because the medical profession is being used by the pharmaceutical companies to more or less use man-made created drugs, genetically modified products, which are causing the downfall of man even more. I may sound like I'm rambling here and getting off the subject, and it is kind of deep and maybe above most of your pay grades, so have a friend watch this video and have them help you through it if you can't get the gist of this. This is totally unrehearsed. I'm just talking. I may not even post this video. I'm just going to see how it sounds. But yeah, we're at a convergence, and it's like the convergence here of going from one sun sign to another. You have some problems and some issues by changing from one age to another. And you have those who like to control the eye, trying to blame other people so that they can keep in control when it's their time to turn the guidance over to somebody else. So hope you get something out of this and pass it on, and hopefully I'm saying more here than what anybody else presently is saying right now, but that'll sound a little like a megalomaniac talking, which some people have charged me with being. Anyway, good day, and keep your nose to the grindstone, and maybe you'll get through this mess, and there'll be sunshine on the other side. Good day.